Welcome to A Journey Beyond Earthly Senses, an immersive exploration of alien light and form. This video details an experience that pushes the boundaries of human sensory perception. Before leaving the Doko, Michel fits a new Voki, a personal filtration mask. This instantly transforms his perception, making colors intensely vivid and luminous in the alien structural habitat. The sudden influx of sensory data causes a sensory overload, resulting in biological failure and the physical toll of absolute beauty. Michel collapses, bruised by the experience. The visual density of the planet requires strict filtration. Michel was overwhelmed because the sheer volume of beauty bypassed human sensory limits. His new Voki provides a 50% light penetration threshold, up from the former 20% limit. To establish a new sensory baseline, Michel recalls a journey to Tahiti. This represents the absolute peak of earthly beauty, with vibrant flora, coconut palm canopies, and the deep blue ocean. Tahiti, an entire day of beauty for the eyes, pales in comparison to the planet's reality. Viewing the new world through the Voki mask reveals that even the absolute peak of earthly beauty is insignificant. Inside the organic architectural Doko, Michel rests for 24 hours. Meanwhile, Laetoli and Biastra effortlessly metamorphose back to their normal, towering sizes, a feat dismissed as unimportant. Laetoli approaches Michel and touches his shoulder. The pain from his injury vanishes instantly, replaced by deep quivers of well-being, radiating through his entire body. This illustrates instantaneous cellular repair. The general population lives in perpetual happiness, treating flight like a joyful game. This contrasts with the Seventh Thaori leadership, who are serious and severe, despite their benevolence. Michel and Thao board the Lativok, a specialized flying platform for rapid aerial transit. Laetoli and Biastra fly independently, playfully fluttering around the vehicle. Even with 50% filtration, Michel struggles to absorb the light, constantly having to squint. He contemplates the terrifying hypothetical outcome if the mask allowed 70% of the light to penetrate. The Lativok accelerates at immense speed, just meters above the water. Michel is forced to keep his eyes shut in bursts, enduring the visual friction of the high-speed journey toward the mainland coast. Under the midday sun, waves crash against rocks composed of solid green, black, orange, and gold. The resulting iridescence creates a crystalline rainbow, hundreds of times more refractive than anything on Earth. Leaving the shoreline behind, the Lativok ascends vertically to 200 meters. From this new vantage point, the sweeping vastness of the alien mainland reveals itself, demanding new capacities for awe. Traversing the universe requires more than just technology. It demands physical and psychological evolution to endure pure, unfiltered beauty. A human mind built for 20% of reality must be broken, healed, and carefully shielded before witnessing the true spectrum of the cosmos. Welcome to the Field Guide to Tiahuba, an ethnographic and biological dossier based on the Lativok expedition logs. Our aerial reconnaissance over the river plains was conducted from the Lativok low-altitude craft, guided by Thao and Biastra. The topography is a vast plain dissected by a wide river. Geological anomalies include small, uniform, dormant volcanic knolls. Flora consists of trees grouped in isolated stands. We observed various terrestrial fauna. Earth parallels include familiar cows grazing alongside hippopotamuses and donkeys. Giant mammoths are visually identical to Earth variants, but twice the size. Elevated herbivores, like giraffes, stand significantly taller than their Earth counterparts. There are also small, two-legged bipedal creatures resembling ostriches and large flocks of white birds. Anomalous species include winged equines. These creatures have heads of beautiful human women with varied hair colors. They are highly vocal, capable of complex communication, and can match aerial craft speeds, soaring at high altitudes. The approach and landing at Dokos involved reducing the craft's altitude to water level, gliding directly over the river. The dwellings are grouped strategically on a bend. The craft landed in a small square between two dokos, and the inhabitants formed a perfectly spaced circle for initial contact. In terms of demographics, the inhabitants of Tiahuba exhibit a uniform age appearance, possessing a quality of nobility. Children are exceptionally rare and level-headed. The crowd projected an overwhelming calmness, sharing a strong, unifying resemblance akin to a massive gathering of siblings. Physiologically, they possess immense stature, ranging from 280 to 300 centimeters. Their proportions are perfectly balanced, with no physical deformities. Their reproductive anatomy is hermaphroditic, capable of giving birth. They have long legs, reminiscent of female long-distance runners. Surface traits include golden, sun-protected skin and strikingly light mauve and blue eyes. Hair is thick and magnificent, in colors like golden, platinum, and chestnut. Body hair is absent, with the exception of fine, down on the upper lip of some individuals. Every face presented distinct features, yet adhered to an overarching standard of beauty. The perfection of their physical forms and the nobility of their bearing leaves a profound impression, making them appear as if purposefully designed by a master artist. This concludes the log. Welcome to The Secrets of Mu, a visual record of Earth's hidden cosmic ancestry. This video explores the fascinating timeline and events surrounding the legendary continent of Mu. Our story begins with the Thiaoban encounter, a journey of enlightenment facilitated by advanced beings. The hosts, possessing supreme intelligence and perfect physical forms, communicate via telepathic French. Laotianusi, the last king of Mu, became the keeper of Earth's history 14,000 Earth years ago. His mandate was to unveil several mysteries that continue to elude and obsess Earth's experts. Jump back to 1,350,000 years ago with the arrival of the Bakratinians. This event marks their initial arrival on the planet. 30,000 years later, a terrible cataclysm occurred, gouging out new seas. This event led to the emergence of an enormous continent in the Pacific Ocean, initially known as Lamar and later as Mu. Just 2,000 years after its emergence, Lamar was shattered by a massive seismic shock, fracturing the single landmass into 3 principal continents. Mu was an equatorial paradise, featuring grass and dense forests. Animals migrated across a narrow isthmus that bound Mu to North America. Around 300,000 years ago, the Yellow Race, survivors of the cataclysm, constructed ships. They landed on the northwest coast of Mu, establishing a small colony that remained stagnant due to difficulties in expatriating. The Arimo X3 migration catalyst occurred 250,000 years ago. Facing severe overpopulation, millions of inhabitants embarked on an interplanetary voyage to resettle their people. The Arimo X3 exploratory vessels mapped a precise route toward Earth, penetrating the solar system by skirting Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and Mercury before their final approach. The Arimo X3 explorers landed in China, causing widespread panic. Local legends recorded the descending spacecraft as fire dragons arriving from the sky. Fear and mistrust drove the Chinese populace to attack the Arimo X3 inhabitants. Despite their technological superiority and spiritual nature, the Arimo X3 settlers were forced to use violence solely to defend themselves. Moving on from China, the explorers surveyed the rest of the planet and discovered Mu. It was virtually uninhabited, and its specific latitude made it a veritable paradise. Traumatized by the hostilities, the explorers prioritized safety. They spent 50 Earth years constructing a highly secure retreat base on the Moon, instead of establishing an immediate terrestrial base. Once the lunar base was complete, mass emigration from Arimo X3 to Mu began. The small Chinese colony had vanished. The Arimo X3 settlers claimed the entire continent, establishing a peaceful cosmic haven on Earth. Welcome to an anthropological briefing on the ancient civilization of Mu. This video provides a reconstructed sociological profile of the Arimo X3 emigrants, their utopian political engine, and their place in Earth's cosmic history. The people of Mu trace their origins to the Arimo X3 emigrants. Physically, they were characterized by dark hair, lightly bronzed skin, and black eyes. These settlers are direct ancestors of modern Polynesians, and they were highly skilled farmers and graziers. The settlers engineered a sprawling network of flagstone roads and imported alien fauna. Work commenced immediately to construct towns, canals, and road networks. Citizens navigated the continent using flying chariots, and they imported animals like pigs, dogs, and armadillos from Arimo X3. The capital city of Savanasa overlooked the Gulf of Suvatu from a massive 300-meter plateau. The continent was divided into 19 large cities, 7 of which were designated as sacred. The governance of Mu relied on integrity over political affiliation or material reward, modeled on the Arimo X3 system. The nation was led by 7 men of absolute integrity. Leaders received no material benefits, driven purely by a vocation and love for serving their country, bypassing opportunism. Leadership emerged from grassroots village referendums based strictly on character. Representatives were elected based on demonstrated integrity, with disqualifiers for bad conduct or fanaticism. Elected village representatives were sent to the nearest town to merge with representatives from neighboring districts. Regional representatives convened in Savanasa for capital conferences. They were divided into groups of 6 for a 10-day evaluation period, involving deep discussions and social bonding. This process resulted in the election of one group leader per pod. The Council of 7 resolved deadlocks through days of debate driven by love and intelligence. 7 members were elected from the pool of capital group leaders. The 7th member acted as the supreme judge with a weighted vote. Deadlocks were resolved through continuous debate until one member changed their vote. A Republican king served as the spiritual representative of Earth, with strict anti-dictator fail-safes. A supreme leader emerged from the Council of 7. There were fail-safes to prevent dictatorship, ensuring that any tendency toward autocracy led to immediate overthrow by the Council. Cataclysmic lunar captures dramatically reshaped Earth's axis and habitability. Approximately 6 million years ago, Earth's small moons collided, causing cataclysms. Around 500,000 years ago, Earth captured our current larger moon, causing violent planetary catastrophes and prompting the emigrants to establish safety bases on the moon. The utopian engine of Mu stands as a stark mirror to modern political opportunism. The civilization of Mu prioritized vocation and character over promises and benefits. This history suggests that a society survives cosmic and earthly challenges only when its leadership is rooted in an unwavering concern for the people. Welcome to this classified briefing on the lost science of Mu. We will explore extraterrestrial history, ancient technologies, and the cosmic mechanics of Earth, using data from terrestrial anomalies and the Savanasa archives. We begin with the concept of the tightening cosmic spiral. Moons originate as small planets spiraling toward a sun due to inertial decay. When a smaller planet's rapid spiral brings it near a larger planet, it is captured, becoming a moon with a collision course. The moon's tightening spiral will culminate in a direct collision with Earth in 195,000 years. If humanity is technologically stagnant, this results in total annihilation. With sufficient advancement, a complete planetary evacuation is possible. Ancient Earth was known as the Flat Paradise. It featured an essentially flat continent, with plains rising no more than 30 meters above sea level. Savanasa, the capital, was situated centrally on an overlooking plateau. Mu possessed the capability of machining stone far beyond modern standards. Construction stones weighing over 50 tons were cut with a precision of 0.2 millimeters, utilizing advanced ultrasonic vibratory systems. Sourcing was primarily from Holoton and Natora. Anti-gravitational logistics and transport were key. Stones were moved on specialized platforms that utilized anti-gravitational techniques, hovering exactly 20 centimeters above paved roads known as the spider's web. The Great Pyramid's architectural specifications are remarkable. It stands 440.01 meters high, with 4 faces aligned flawlessly to the cardinal points. Its scale dwarfs the similar pyramid of Cheops. Contrary to the historical misconception that pyramids were tombs, the reality is that the Great Pyramid was a highly engineered machine. Its function was to capture cosmic rays, forces, and terrestrial energies, based on a profound understanding of universal law. Function 1 of the pyramid was as a communications center. Its internal layout harnessed cosmic forces, enabling interstellar telepathy and providing the energy necessary for universal exploration, including parallel universes. Function 2 involved paradise engineering and weather control. A system of silver alloy plates accelerated cloud accumulation, guaranteeing rainfall as needed. This resulted in a virtually engineered paradise with endless harvests and abundant flora. The Lycoti fruit triggered extreme brain activity, enabling complex problem solving. Despite not being a drug, its cultivation was a strict monopoly of the king, under the absolute law of the sages, enforced with harsh punishment for unauthorized planting. This video presents a dossier on a forgotten era of Earth's planetary history, revealing a globally connected civilization predating recorded history. This lost continent, Mu, was characterized by advanced technology, esoteric spirituality, and extraterrestrial intervention. The golden age of Mu lasted 50,000 years with a peak population of 80 million. The spiritual framework was focused on the creator, Thoreau, with an absolute belief in reincarnation. Governance was led by a king as Thoreau's representative, never worshipped himself. Mu is acknowledged as one of the best organized civilizations ever on Earth. Mu achieved technological mastery, utilizing the Pyramid of Savanasa as a central research hub. They employed flying ships, identical to modern flying saucers for planetary transport, and anti-gravitation machines for heavy industrial lifting and freight transport. Global colonization saw a westward push to New Guinea and Asiatic regions. The South American hub featured the massive colonial seaport Tiaquano and the Transcontinental Canal, which linked the Pacific to the Brazilian Inland Sea for direct shipping access to Atlantis. The Atlantean Schism involved the fall of Atlantis, a counter-narrative to the Order of Mu. Atlantis originated from a white race, and its collapse was due to spiritual decay, loss of technical understanding, and catastrophic natural disasters. The Great Migrations began with Atlantean refugees rejecting Mu's new government. They migrated north via seafaring technology and south utilizing a land bridge to North Africa. The interbreeding of white Atlantean refugees with local black-yellow populations spawned races like the Berbers and Tuaregs. Behind the myths of gods were the Visitors, giant radiant beings who frequently visited the King of Mu and distant colonies. They strategically posed as friendly deities to assimilate primitive populations peacefully. These public visitations are the literal origin of Earth's enduring legends of, quote, giants and heavenly chariots of fire. The Immortals of Halaton, modern Easter Island, were immense stone figures crafted by Mu's master sculptors to immortalize the extraterrestrial visitors. These statues were engineered to be moved across the country to line the paths to the Pyramid of Savanasa and the King's Royal Gardens. The cataclysm resulted in the sudden sinking of Mu. Halaton was only partially spared, leaving the vestiges we know today. The Lakotina effect is a phenomenon influencing human consciousness to experience the absolute truth of this erased history through profound, verifiable dreams.